Hello everyone and welcome to WGBS TV Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. My name is Steve Eunice, and in tonight's show, our, July 3rd, 2018 show, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including a new picture of Henry Cavill as Superman. We're going to be talking about the DC Universe streaming live service, or live streaming service. And we're also going to be opening the comments to you to take your questions and comments on any particular Superman topic you'd like to discuss, and to let you know how all that works and how you can get involved in tonight's show. Let me introduce you to my co-host, Michael Bailey. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Steve. Now, if you're watching this live, you're either doing it via our Facebook page or directly on our website. Seeing as how we're doing this live across the internet and therefore around the planet Houston, we'd love to hear from Superman fans right across the world. So to call in and talk to us tonight, you'll need to use Skype. Open up Skype, search for Superman Homepage, and send us a message saying you'd like to chat with us live tonight, and we'll try to get you in on the second half hour of our show.
Yes, and for everyone who are watching live, either doing this via Facebook, or hopefully via Facebook, if you are, below that video we invite you to post your comments and ask questions, and Michael and I will keep an eye on those comments throughout the show to react to them as necessary. And a huge thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Tina Murray, Douglas Meacham, and Henry Bernstein. We appreciate your support. Well, how have you been, Mike? What's been happening in your world this week?
Just exciting stuff. I mean, we got Man of Steel #5 has come out,
Yep.
And I was very excited. I know we're going to be talking about this a little bit. We've got the Walmart comics that have also come out, and I managed to snag some of them. So it's Superman-wise, it's been really cool.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good week. So we'll get into everything, and let's start with the big announcement this week, which is, I guess, a bit of everything: movie, TV, comic books, and merchandise as well, with DC Entertainment announcing that they're making the actual announcement of their DC Universe live streaming service, which is another subscription service, I guess, that you'll be able to, in the US anyway, subscribe to, and there'll be movies, TV shows, animation, cartoons, comic books, and exclusive merchandise for members and subscribers of this DC Universe subscription service.
Yeah, I caught some people have called it a sizzle reel. It's actually more kind of a trailer / announcement. And the thing that kind of struck me is, you would think that if you're trying to sell, like, this is your big new thing, it's going to be this subscription service, you're going to be able to get exclusive toys, you're going to have access to comic books, you're going to be able to watch movies and television. You know, we're going to have Batman the Animated Series in HD, so it's going to look a lot nicer than if you have the DVDs. That you wouldn't put so many clips of Superman 4 in it. And I love that movie, so don't get me wrong. I will defend that movie from here to Doomsday, and the Brainiac and the Ultra Humanite. But it was just really funny. There were a lot of shots from Superman 3 in there, and it ended with the "What more could anybody ask" from Superman the movie. So it seems like they're hyping up that they have these classic, as in, older films. But it got my attention, and I'm a little more likely to subscribe to it now that I know kind of more of what's going to be about it than I was like a couple weeks ago.
Well, let's have a look at that trailer, or sizzle reel as you described, that was posted by DC Entertainment this week.
What are you talking about?
I wouldn't miss this for anything.
Let's do this. I think I'm gonna like it here. I'll take it.
Everything you need's in here.
Don't you just love a happy ending?
Just follow my lead.
What more could anyone ask?
There you have it, the DC Universe trailer announcing the upcoming digital subscription service. First of its kind. It, as you saw there, will have everything from movies, cartoons, TV shows, new live action shows, and comic books, merchandise. There's those action figures from DC and DC Collectibles of the Justice League animated series as part of this. You got all the Superman movies with Christopher Reeve. You've got the George Reeves series. You've got the Fleischer cartoons. You've got the Supergirl movie, and so much more that will be part of this subscription service.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically what we kind of wanted it to be. So it's nice to see that that's what we're actually going to be getting. And I'm kind of hoping that over time they're going to add more and more comics to the subscription service, kind of like what Marvel has with their Marvel Unlimited app, where you can read more. But the thing that gets me more than anything about this is that they are going kind of whole hog into trying to get you to be a fan of, either get you to be a fan of everything, or if you're a fan of something and maybe not something, there's still something here for you. And it's not just going to be 5 original series. So I'm actually kind of like a little excited. I didn't sign up to be one of the beta people, just because I didn't feel like it. But I am, once it launches, it will be something I will be looking into.
One of the there's 5 different original content series that have been introduced: Titans, Doom Patrol, Swamp Thing, Harley Quinn, and for fans of the Superman universe, Young Justice Outsiders, which I believe has just been pushed back a little bit from its original screening date. But DC will be promoting all of these at Comic-Con in San Diego this month, so there's a lot to look forward to from as far as some of the announcements, some of the imagery, and some of the footage that they'll be showing. And as you said, you can sign up to DCUniverse.com to register for an opportunity to be a beta tester, and there's also, you'll be able to get alerts for when all the things are starting to happen, when all the announcements in the future. And one of the exclusives that DC Universe members will get is access to DC Collectibles' new line of Justice League animated action figures, which I think I have images of. I'll grab an image for you just quietly. But what did you think of these exclusives that will be part of it?
I love that they keep going back to the well of Justice League the Animated Series for stuff, because you got that Eagle Moss thing that's coming out soon as well. I'm not entirely happy with how Superman looks. It's a little, I don't know, there's something a little off about the face and how the S symbol works, but it's a handsome line of figures. And I appreciate that they keep, they're keeping this property and this particular iteration alive, and I think it just speaks to how popular it was and how it still has its fans.
Yeah, so they are the Justice League figures that will be available as part of being a member of the DC Universe online subscription from DC Entertainment. So there you have it. Alright, so looking forward to seeing more announcements. I'm just disappointed that it's only for US people at this point in time, I imagine. Maybe like Netflix, it will be available to anyone, anywhere. I'm just kind of waiting and seeing what, once the launch happens, where it will be available and who it will be available to. So we'll keep you apprised of all the details with DC Universe streaming service once it does launch, I think in August.
Yeah, I would say it's kind of inevitable, but there's certain movies and TV series and such that you can't get in the UK that Warner Brothers doesn't seem to care about. So I guess it's not guaranteed that it's going to be an international thing.
Never know. We'll wait and see. All right, so we'll start with movie news now that we've got that one out of the way. Zack Snyder did release through his Vero social media account an image or photo of Henry Cavill as Superman that we hadn't seen before from Batman v Superman, with Henry holding up a blue and red umbrella that is very fitting for the costume that he's wearing during one of the scenes or sequences being filmed, as I said, for Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice.
I like that it's, over 2 years since the film came out, and we're still kind of showing new photos from Batman v Superman. I mean, it's cool, don't get me wrong, but it's just, and it's a fun picture of Henry, and it makes you remember that he really didn't wear the cape as part of the costume on set, except for certain shots. It was mostly computer generated. So, but yes, red and blue, very appropriate for the Man of Steel.
So there you have it, and a big green screen in the background. I'm not sure if it's raining because it's raining, or if it's generated rain from the movie set. But by the look of the guy in the background on his phone, he's wearing his rain gear. So it may just well be a rainy day, and it kind of probably worked in their favour because a lot of that movie was in the rain.
And very gloomy. Yes, it works out nicely.
So there you have it. That was a shot that was released this past week from Zack Snyder to show us a picture. It was a Throwback Thursday post, which a lot of people like to do, these old photos looking back at something that they might not have shown before, or might not, people might remember looking back. Now, the only other movie news that there is this week is the announcement that a new DC Superhero Girls animated movie is coming October 2nd, and it is titled Legends of Atlantis, and I do have a trailer for you here to have a look at, so cast your eyes on this.
For my project, I wanted to identify this book that I uncovered on my Archaeology Abroad tour. The Book of Legends. The Book of Legends. It's been activated. With that book's help, we'll get the Trident of Atlantis, which controls the ocean. Soon, I will be the most powerful being on Earth. We have super strength, and we have super tech. All we need now is a little magic. Metreon Zinzos! Whoa! That girl! Whoa! What sort of super prankification is being pulled here?
Raven's magic swapped our powers.
Mine! Stop, you wicked water witches! No! We need to find Atlantis and warn their king. We're gonna need waterproof super suits. Yes. Matching helmet and air tank combo.
Oh, I haven't seen anything so groundbreaking since the first superhero wore his underpants on the outside.
Get your king! All hands on deck! Atlantis, here we come.
Hello, ladies. I'm Aquaman. You know, the king of Atlantis.
I am the super queen of the ocean! Trident, sink Metropolis! This way, superhero girls! Hey, fish face!
DC Superhero Girls, Legends of Atlantis. Look for it on DVD and digital.
So there you have it, DC Superhero Girls, Legends of Atlantis, original animated movie, which will be out October 2nd on digital and DVD. So if you want to grab that, it hasn't been listed yet on Amazon, but as soon as it is, we will post a link to it on our website. So for the younger generation, especially the younger girls, the DC Superhero Girls just keep going from strength to strength, and I think it's great that there is something out there for that age group that they can get into these heroes.
Yeah, that trailer made me laugh because it's like, I want to look at this book that I found on my latest archaeology thing. It's got a demon face on it, but I'm sure it's going to be completely okay. I mean, nothing bad could happen from here.
Exactly. So, yep, DC Superhero Girls, Legends of Atlantis, out October 2nd. Alright, well, let's push on and there's really nothing on the TV front. We're waiting for Supergirl and Krypton to come back. Supergirl will be back later this year and Krypton next year, but there will be something for you to look at on TV towards the end of this year, with Brian Michael Bendis announcing on his Twitter account that he's just approved the final cut of a TV commercial that will be promoting the Superman comic books. So I think this is fantastic that finally DC Comics and comic book publishers are promoting comic books through a TV commercial.
Yeah, traditionally this has just not been a means of them to promote the materials. Back in the 80s, G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero from Marvel, had commercials, but the reason that had commercials was because there was a limit on the amount of animation you could have in a toy commercial, but there was no limit on the animation in a comic book commercial. So what they decided to do was every certain issue they would put in all the new toys that they're promoting and then put out a commercial for the comic, and you see all the new toys in that commercial, and it's completely animated. And back in the 90s, there were commercials on... DC put out a series of videos for Batman the Animated Series that had like looking like a commercial. But no, this is really, one, it's exciting that they're doing it, and two, it's really exciting that it's Superman, that they're wanting to promote this, because we're going to get in a little later that I'm not, for the first time in a long time, I'm really unhappy with something that DC has done involving Superman. So that's kind of cool to hear that he approved that final cut, and that he has that kind of power that he can approve the final cut.
So yeah, the one, it's kind of it's smart that they're doing it, but it's also showing a new, I guess, direction that DC are going in with. One, they've already just done the whole Walmart thing where they've got exclusive comic books that are going out to, you know, a department store like that, where a wider audience is going to be able to get into comic books and you know, read comic book stories. And now they're promoting comic books on television in hopefully a primetime time slot, where fans who are fans of these characters but not necessarily comic book readers will go, hey, I wonder if there's a comic book store near me, or let's go on digitally, get my iPad, get my iPhone, whatever it might be, and, you know, maybe they'll be promoting Comixology or whatever they'll be doing on the TV commercial to, you know, seek out comic books that way. Because let's face it, the comic book industry is shrinking all the time with a aging audience, and therefore we need to reach out to newer markets. And to do that, I think you need to hit, you know, people where they're watching, and that's on television.
Absolutely. And if you're going to be serious that, you know, this isn't just kind of the, you know, outlier of entertainment, which is how comics have been traditionally treated, and that you are going to have these movies and these television series. I mean, what better place to put an ad for Superman comics than during Supergirl or any of the other DC shows on the CW? So it's neat to see. I think the door has already been open for the mainstream to come in, so it's not like this is going to be something where suddenly, to use a Harry Potter term, we're going to have a bunch of muggles coming in and you know, adding to the conversation. They're here. They're on Twitter. They're on Facebook. You know, the movies have done a lot to do that. So to kind of promote the comics and get people to read the comics, which are kind of the gestation point for these characters, is probably not as exciting as the Walmart thing, because I'm really excited about that, but it's still really cool to see.
It is really cool to see, and we'll wait for them. It's supposed to be the summer, your summer, the TV commercial will air, which I believe is like December, later in the year.
Summer?
Sorry, that's our summer. When does your summer start?
Yeah, that's your summer. Our summer's going on. It's hot. It's
okay. So it might be soon then.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool to see. But yeah, it's oh wow, it's hot outside.
Okay, so it might be sooner than I thought. I was just obviously saw summer and then thought December for us, because that is summer for us. But need to twist my brain around and remember that it's the reverse for you guys. So it could be sooner rather than later. So we'll wait and see just when we will see these TV commercials, and I'll need to adjust my story there on the Superman homepage, because I said towards the end of the year, but it could be towards the end of the summer, which would be end of July, August.
Somewhere around there.
Okay, so I'll do that right. Towards the end of August instead of the year. Updated and done. So let's look to other news where we will be talking about comic books. And, well, let's start with the Walmart stuff, because Tina in the comments, in the Facebook comments, has just asked whether or not the stories that are in the Walmart publications are the regular Superman and Action Comics stories, or if it's just something exclusive to the Walmart publications. And, well, it's not the current Superman and Action Comics stories that Brian Michael Bendis is doing. It is reprinted stories from previous years, and as well as an exclusive story that is only in the Walmart publication, which we have done a review of at the Superman homepage. So it's not the current comic books, it's new story plus old material. Michael's got it right there.
Yeah. Yay. So here's the thing. There's a Superman, a Batman, a Justice League, and a Teen Titans. And the Justice League is reprinting the new 52 Justice League series and an original Wonder Woman series, a Flash, and Aquaman from the new 52. Batman has the original Batman story, a reprint. This issue has the first part of Hush, has a Harley Quinn story, and a Nightwing story. So far, I'm on board with it. Superman has the original story by Jimmy Palmiotti, which I enjoyed. It has the first issue of Superman Batman by Jeff Loeb and Ed McGuinness. It has Green Lantern, and #1 from right after Infinite Crisis, or right before Infinite Crisis, and The Terrifics, which is a more recent book. And that really bugs me, because it seems like if you're going to have something called Superman, have mostly Superman and Superman-related characters in it. You know, it kind of bothers me that it's just like, okay, we have the Superman book, here's the original story, here's a story with Batman, and here are two stories that have nothing to do with Superman. And you can talk to me about the fact that Action Comics was a anthology book and that it had a number of different subjects and features in it over the years. It's not 1946. It seems, I don't want to say disrespectful, but it really bugs me that they don't have a Supergirl story in here. That they don't have, like, Superman and the Legion of Superheroes being reprinted. You know, something to do with Superman outside of one story with him, one story where he's sharing the spotlight, and then two other features that have nothing to do with him.
So it's disappointing that there are stories in there that really don't have anything to do with Superman. As the top of the comic book cover shows, there's Batman, there's Green Lantern, and as you've just said, you know, there's different stories in there that have nothing to do with Superman. But there is a exclusive Superman story in there, which we did review on the Superman homepage. So it's titled Endurance. It's part 1 of 2. So the second part will be in Superman 100-page Comic Giant #2, which I believe will be out next month. So the comic books are selling really well at Walmart. Michael, you said there was only one copy of the Superman book that you just held up there in your hand, and that the Titans one had already sold out. The Batman and Justice League ones were also there, but they seem to be selling really well, even so much so that they're showing up on eBay for really high prices.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all, because that's the market. I mean, if you're going to have something that's exclusive, obviously the aftermarket's going to be kind of high. The funny thing, though, is that Walmart has for a while now been selling comics. I think we touched on this last week. They have, like, this magazine that reprints more recent stories, and then they would have like 3 packs of comics for $5, and most of those were right around Rebirth more recently. So that little standee at Walmart is gone, and it's replaced by this other little cardboard, thing for the magazines. And it looks nice. It's very attractive. It's got the DC logo on the side. But when it runs out, when the book is sold out, it's the shot from the end of Superman number 423, where Superman is sitting with his head in his hands in the Fortress of Solitude, looking all sad. And it just says, something like sold out. And I thought, wow, somebody actually put some real thought into how the merchandising of this is going. And as somebody that works retail, I really appreciated that.
Very good. Is it this... I'll just try to grab the image. Is it this image here? That little one down there?
I believe so.
Okay. So
I'll know more in a second, but I believe so. But yeah, I'm excited about this. When I went in Saturday because they said it was going to be. Yes, that's the image. When they said it was going to be on sale the first, which was Sunday, I was just like, okay, I really got to make sure right after work I got to head over there. But then I started seeing on Twitter that people were already picking up their copies, so I'm like, okay, I definitely have to get over there. And when I got there, it was full. I think I bought like one of the first copies that came off. I went back 2 days later and they're almost gone. So whether it's people doing the thing where they're poaching it so that they can sell it higher later, or whether it's people are legitimately excited. I think the Titans one sold out because there's a cartoon right now called Teen Titans Go that is extremely popular. And that's something you can kind of grab kids with. I don't know if I want kids reading the Jeff Johns Teen Titans series, but at the same time, I was sitting here today reading it, and I'm like, wow, this is like when I was a kid and I would go to the grocery store and get some comics, instead of having to go to the comic shop, which I love. But I think if this continues on and DC is able to meet the demand and really make this work, I think it will open up this idea to other retail stores as well, that maybe they'll carry it and, it gets into a broader audience. Marvel right now has a thing where they've teamed up with Archie Comics and have digests at the checkout lanes of grocery stores, and they're usually tied into whatever movie's coming out.
Okay.
So I think we're kind of on the cusp. If this works out, we're on the cusp of comics being a little more mainstream again in terms of distribution, and that can only help sales.
I think it's a great idea. So let's hope that the Walmart sales continue to skyrocket and that the second issues of these publications continue to sell as well as they have been. Now, you mentioned at the top of the show that the Man of Steel number 5 came out this past week, with the 6th and final issue out tomorrow, Wednesday, July 4th. This is really ramping up this story. It's becoming quite exciting, and I believe the 6th and final issue of this miniseries really gives us some answers that we've been have been holding on to find out what's happened between Clark and Lois, and what happened with John, and it all seems to, and what's Rogol Zaar's real aim, and all this kind of stuff, Supergirl, all that kind of stuff. It's really ramping up. What did you think of issue number 5?
It was the only issue where I wasn't as happy with the art. I like Adam Hughes, but there was something about the coloring of this that made it a little off. But other than that, I thought for people who have been kind of worried about Supergirl, I don't think you need to be worried about Supergirl. She was great. There was this great homage to Crisis number 7, just flipped. And I think Bendis has given us a supporting cast we can fall in love with, and he's really given us a Superman story that lives up to the character. This, Rogol Zaar, he's on one hand, he's kind of a monster that Superman can hit, but there's a lot more to him than that. The fact that he did destroy Krypton is kind of, a big deal. And I know some people have had a problem with that they're tired of that being a plot point and all that. I have liked everything about this. I think as far as being the launch of a new era, it has been a complete success. The weekly release has been great. It's made me go to the shop every week to make sure I get my copy. And, from here on in, we've got Superman in action to look forward to.
Yeah, and Rogol Zaar as a villain isn't just this one note villain where it's just a punching fight and just a brawl, because as soon as he has Superman where he wants him, he disappears and lets him stew in his misery, wondering what the hell Rogol Zaar is all about. It doesn't try to finish him off. He's kind of stringing him along, and it's just becoming a real mystery as to what his end game is.
Yeah, and it's going to be something that is going to continue on into the Superman title. So it's not like in issue 6, it's the end of him, which I also like, because then he's not, the big bad for this series, and then we completely forget about him.
Exactly. All right, well, we're at the halfway point of tonight's program, so we're going to take a quick break and then come back on the other side to talk about what Grant Morrison and Dan Didio are doing with the new 52 Superman. Back shortly, right after these messages.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your super feel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer, the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
Faster than a bursting bubble, cleaner than a whistle. It's me, the Soaky Kid, with 2 brand new Soaky Fun Bath characters, Superman and Tennessee Tuxedo.
Tennessee, penguins can't fly.
I happen to be skydiving.
Without a parachute?
I knew I forgot something. Thanks, Superman. Look, 2 brand new Soaky toys.
Great stars, it's me, Superman.
And me, Tennessee Tuxedo. Time to wash up.
Up, up, and away!
Soaky soaks you clean in oceans full of fun. Scrubbly, bubbly, flippity, floppity.
Clean before you're done.
Soaky soaks you clean, and every girl and boy gets a toy. When it's empty, it's a toy.
This picture of the Soaky Kid proves we're real Soaky toys.
Bath time is fun with the new Soaky Superman and Tennessee Tuxedo. More fun than...
Tennessee Tuxedo and Superman Soaky toys. Throwback. That's a throwback. Throwback Tuesday.
Yeah, we've played that one before, and it just reminds me that there was a cartoon called Tennessee Tuxedo that I used to watch when I was a kid that I haven't seen in a very long time.
Alright, as I mentioned before the break, in more comic book news, Dan Didio announced via his Facebook page that he and Grant Morrison are collaborating to write the upcoming Sideways Annual #1. Now, I'm not up to Sideways, didn't even know about the title, but it's got an annual coming out. And the interesting part for Superman fans, why we're mentioning it here, is because as looking at the cover image by Andy Kubert for Sideways Annual #1, it appears to feature New 52 era Superman with the t-shirt and pants and the cape attached to the back with the boots on and everything like that. As we know, the New 52 Superman was kind of written out of continuity when, after the Rebirth saga, things kind of were merged together to form one Superman. But being the fact that this story, or the Sideways comic book, kind of writes things where there's, they're hopping through dimensions and disrupting the space-time continuum, the New 52 Superman could well still be out there somehow in some alternate reality. So we'll kind of have to wait and see what happens here.
I mean, why not? It's if you're going to have a reality hopping story, and you're going to get Grant Morrison involved, and you want to kind of maybe draw a little attention to the book, tease people with the New 52 Superman. And not only the New 52 Superman, if I'm remembering the image properly, it's T-shirt jeans wearing New 52 Superman.
That's right.
So it's not the the let's argue if it's armor or not costume, because boy was that fun. To sit there and natter at each other about. But, just the fact that it's there and, that it might make me pick this book up. I don't automatically buy every book that has Superman in it anymore. The therapy has worked out very nicely, and I managed to overcome that. But this is kind of exciting and cool. I know nothing about Sideways, so I really can't speak to that.
I'm with you. I have no idea who this character is. But then you see Superman on the image and you start wondering all about it, which I guess is what they do with these kind of books, is that they throw in cameo appearances by recognised heroes to have fans seeking them out and try to find out what they're all about. So that's Sideways Annual number 1. Not sure exactly when it will ship, but we'll keep you up to date when we're doing our This Week in Comics and what's being released in comics when it is on the list. So stand by for more details on that in the coming weeks. Now,
stand by for action.
Now, as far as what comic books are out this week, let's go through that very list right now while we're talking about that. So let me bring up those comic books. We have Injustice 2, Chapter 65, digital comic out this week. We have Injustice 2 number 29 print edition out this week. There's also Justice League number 3, which is available in a black and white Jim Lee cover of Hawkgirl and also a colour version of that same Jim Lee image. Then we have, as we were talking about earlier, The Man of Steel number 6 of 6 by Brian Michael Bendis. That is out this week. And there's also a trade paperback collecting the Peter David Volume 4 or Book 4 of Supergirl out this week as well.
I'm really glad that that's continuing to be reprinted and that they're starting to do the Superboy series of that era. It's just kind of nice. I mean, obviously they have Supergirl because Supergirl's a popular television series, but I think that's kind of a forgotten book at this point, and I really enjoyed it.
I did too. And those books are all out July 4th, so tomorrow, Wednesday, July 4th. And while we're saying July 4th, happy July 4th to everyone, all our US friends celebrating that tomorrow, and enjoy the festivities.
Yeah, be sure to leave out the cookies for Captain America, because, he visits everyone's house overnight, so it's very nice.
And make sure you take care of your pets too with all the fireworks.
Don't get me started. Redneck neighbors.
Okay. Alright, well, let's move on to merchandise that has been announced this week. And Beast Kingdom will be offering 2 exclusive Superman action figures at San Diego Comic-Con, which takes place across July 19th, July 22nd, so later this month. Now, these, as I bring up the images, are really interesting because I want you to spot something, Michael, and see what you think. This is the dynamic action, or it's 8 with 8CTION, so it's a funny play on the action word, but Action Heroes, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, Superman comic color version. What do you notice about that is different?
Well, there are trunks on there, which were not on the Batman v Superman costume. So that's kind of interesting. That's more than interesting, actually. I wonder, how do you make that kind of flub? Who's doing the quality control?
It's a very interesting look. I don't know. I don't mind it. Don't get me wrong. It looks like Superman. It's got the red trunks, and that's all the rage at the moment. But it's not movie accurate. The symbol is, the face is, the head sculpt is, everything else is. But it's instead of blue area down that part of his body, it's red trunks with the yellow belt part. So very interesting design there, and that is says an 80th anniversary tribute to Superman with vintage outfit colors from the classic comics. So it is intentional, but they have done that with the Henry Cavill Batman v Superman character design, but with a tribute to the 80th anniversary using vintage outfit colors. It's limited to 150 sets, which will be available exclusively to San Diego Comic-Con, so you'll probably see it for exorbitant prices later on eBay. They also have this black and white version, I guess you'd call it, Justice League Superman special color version. It says classic outfit colors from the original comics painted with matte black and luminous silvery lines.
Cue up everybody that thought that there was going to be a black costume in Justice League. I mean, that's a sharp looking figure. Don't get me wrong. That's a really nice looking figure. But wow, arguing.
Yeah.
It starts soon.
Yeah, 100%. Now, which is interesting because it says hand painted with rich colors and fine details. I don't see too many rich colors in that. Rich black maybe, but again, limited to 150.
I think they need to take another pass at the cod piece. Just saying, my opinion.
Yeah. And now these, as I said, both these action figures will be on display at Beast Kingdom's booth J, inside San Diego Convention Center across July 19th to July 22nd. So if you're interested in those, you're going to be at San Diego, that's what you want to be looking out for. Now, additionally, there was also a first look at a Supergirl figure, a statue in the Sideshow Collectibles premium format figure range, and that is this Supergirl statue right, where is it? Right there. So it is based on the fine art print by Artgerm, Stanley Lau, known as Artgerm, which in the original image had Supergirl having like a pigeon or a dove landing on her outstretched hand, but here they've got it with a clenched fist in her left hand, and looks like in the box imagery there will be those clouds and birds flying around her anyway, but it's inspired by that original fine print image, and looks like a very striking Supergirl statue.
Yeah, that's a really nice figure. I like the colors. I like the face. I like, it's more of the television boots. I hope she hasn't crushed the pigeon.
A couple of feathers sticking out of the palm of her hand.
But no, I mean, Mike Zumo in the comments joked that this is the section of the show we should call stuff that he'll never be able to afford, and I'm kind of with him on that. Actually, his running commentary through this section has been really funny in the comments. But it's just, for people that like Supergirl, this is their time. So I'm glad that they get stuff like this, that is offered to them, so that during the follow years that will inevitably follow, just because that's how these things work, that they'll have something like this to kind of hold on to.
Yeah, and there is the fine art print by Stanley Artgerm Lau that it was based on. And this is just a preview at this point in time. The Sideshow Collectibles will be taking pre-orders very soon, so keep an eye on sideshowtoy.com if you're interested in this particular figure, statue. Alright, so that is the merchandise side of things, and on a personal experience that I had this past week, the Justice League Call for Heroes experience at Madame Tussauds Sydney opened this 1st of July, was it June 30th I think it opened, but 2 days earlier on the 28th I had the opportunity to be a VIP member at the opening launch day, which was a special preview opening of the experience, and it was very impressive. To start with, I got to interview local personality here, a TV host and comedian in Australia that's very familiar to a lot of Australian fans, and that is Rove McManus, who did spend some time in the US doing a show over there as well. But he's a big Superman fan, and told me at the end of the interview, which I didn't grab on camera, but that only through our website did he discover that Superman had a Broadway musical in the 1960s, which was nice to know that he's visited the Superman homepage and is a fan of the website. But he was great to interview, and we spoke a little bit about his history with the character and how he became a Superman fan. And the reason I mentioned him is because he was hosting the opening of the launch of the Justice League experience there at Madame Tussauds, and I went with him personally down in to have a look, where we took some photos with him and some video of the figures. There was I'll go through some of the photos. Actually, I'll play a video first of me actually interacting with Superman, the only movable figure in the Justice League A Call for Heroes experience, helping him lift the helicopter.
It's one incredible thing. So, I'm sure some of you have show you how some of these work that you will see in the Justice League films. So if you ever wanted to come and feel what they are like, this is it. And don't tell me you haven't already grabbed Henry Cavill's bicep. We've all done it. Now what's great about this is the first ever moving figure. So if you want to come over to Superman, grab yourself onto the base of the helicopter, take a pose. Remember, brace at the knees, keep your back straight, and knees. And look at this. I'm lifting a helicopter! I'm lifting a helicopter, Jordan! I'm even freaking out. I didn't even stretch. And lower. So focus too. Are you okay with that? You okay with it? We also have the Flash at the front. We also have, we've got Batman hiding in the shadows as you normally would here at Gotham.
So there you have just part of the video of the actual opening, with Rove going through the different figures and showing you there. And I was forwarding through that video, sorry for everybody who's got a little bit confused of why it was like speeding along. I was just trying to find the parts of the video. It's there's a whole video there on our website where I'm interviewing Rove, and then his whole opening speech and different images and footage of some of the things that you'll see there in Justice League A Call for Heroes, the experience at Madame Tussauds. It was in Orlando, now is in Sydney, and I'm not sure if it's a permanent fixture or not, but it has only just recently opened the last couple of days here in Sydney. Well worth having a look at. They're interactive. You get to race with the Flash, so you get to see how fast you can run when you're standing next to the Flash figure. You can do the Wonder Woman thing with the wrist cuffs, and it sets off lights and sounds and things. And as I said, showed you there with Superman, you can help him lift the helicopter and lower the helicopter, and the music flares and the lights flare up as you do that. And with Batman, I didn't get any photos with the Batman one. I don't know why. I just kind of forgot. Just maybe it's my natural anti-Batman thing. But you can move the bat signal and shine it into Batman's eyes, and all this smoke comes up. He looks very mysterious and very dramatic. And there are also interactive screens there, and there's a video of the fact that LexCorp, there's some kind of issue and all that kind of stuff. So definitely worth going through, having a look through it, taking as many photos as you can. It took them 3 months to do Henry Cavill's hair, each hair placed in his head. The costume that is on the figure is actually made by the costume designers for Justice League, so the costumes are movie accurate, and it's the likeness of these figures is absolutely amazing. I'm going to show you some of the photos, not those, we've already done those. Here we go. Here's some of the actors who were around, walking around taking photos. Superman was barely taller than me, so I don't know how he got the role, but the Batman guy was very cool. There's me with Rove helping lift the helicopter with Superman there, and then you've got there's a close-up just to show you just how realistic it is of Henry Cavill's face there. They did 3D imagery of all these photos of Henry. Surprisingly, they didn't do any of Gal Gadot. What they did was they just used existing images and photos of her to create the figure, but it's so much like her. It looks so good, so realistic. So that was Gal Gadot, and there's my close-up of what looks so much like Ezra Miller as the Flash. It just looks so realistic. And this guy here his name's Ibby. He was the winner of the competition that they were running for Australia's biggest Superman fan. No, I didn't enter the contest. So he was worried. He came up to me and he said, "Oh, I know you from the website." And so I did an interview with him, and he just had to submit a video, and there was the biggest Superman fan and biggest Batman fan, and he won the Superman segment of it. Very nice guy, lovely fella, was just really personable, and I was very happy for him to have won the contest, and he got to come to the event, and also got to be interviewed on TV, which if I'd known he was going to be interviewed on morning television here in Australia, I would have definitely entered, because it would have been great promotion for the website, but wasn't to be. And that is my experience at Madame Tussauds, which was fantastic, well worth a visit.
Why didn't they get the guy that won the contest to play Superman?
I
mean, seriously, that like Superboy, that dude would have been all over it. But it's just like, you're about my height. We're about on equal footing. So that dude is short.
He is. He was very short, but a nice guy. But all the actors that were playing the three different the trinity of heroes there took so much time out to take photos with fans, and they were very, very nice, and had a lot of fun doing that, as did Rove, who stuck around the whole time and was very personable and down to earth, and really nice people. So I'm really happy with the fact that I got to attend, which, as I said, if you're around the area, if there's one near you, make sure you visit it, because it's well worth a visit.
Yeah, it looks like it was a lot of fun, especially the fact that you get to hang on to the helicopter. That's kind of cool.
It is, and you get to right up and close, feel the costume, and feel Henry Cavill's bicep, if that's what you so desire, or other parts of his body, whatever floats your boat.
We don't judge.
We don't judge. All right, well, Michael, we have time for a This Week in History, if I can play you the little promo entry, and you can take it away.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bonds of your earthly confinement, traveling through time.
Alrighty, this is a rare moment where we get to go back to 1938 for the This Week in History, because This Week in History, on the first week of July, Action Comics number 3 came out.
Oh, wow.
And Superman is not on the cover.
Yes, no, he wasn't until number 7, I think.
Something like that, 7 or 8. Nothing in 1948. In 1958, you had Action Comics number 243, which has the very famous cover of Superman with a lion head, and Adventure Comics, number 251, which has Superboy playing with a Superboy robot in his bedroom, which is kind of a cool cover. 1968, Superboy number 150, which has this robot dude menacing Smallville on the cover, which I think is a very striking image. 1978, Superman number 328 came out. This was there's a Jewel-looking Superman fighting him on the cover, and Morgan Edge is in his face. So that's probably not going to end well for Morgan Edge. 1988, the only Superman-related book released this week was the Superman strip in Action Comics Weekly, number 614. Some of those are actually showing up on Comixology, which I'm kind of excited about.
Nice.
In 1998, this is actually kind of cool. Not only did you have Superman number 138, which was part of the whole Dominus storyline, but this week, Superman For All Seasons number 1 by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale came out, and that became kind of important down the road. In 10 years ago, 2008, no Superman books, but Supergirl number 31 came out. And in the real world, on July 1st, Marlon Brando, who was Jor-El in Superman the movie, died of lung failure in 2004. On July 3rd, it was sadly another passing away of Noel Neal in 2016.
Just last year. 2 years
July
ago now.
4th. Yeah, it was. I saw some people talking about it today. That was both sad and kind of nice that people were marking the occasion. July 4th is the birthday of Eva Marie Saint, who was Martha Kent in Superman Returns. And July 6th is the birthday in 1950 of writer-artist John Byrne, who now apparently regrets his working with Superman, which is kind of depressing.
When did you see that?
That was the end of that video.
Oh, okay.
That was circulating around. He basically said that if he had to do it all over again, he wouldn't do it. So...
Wow.
I was a little upset to hear that, actually.
There you go. That's strange.
Yeah. So, but no, that's this week. We almost had all 8 decades represented, but 1948 let us down once again.
Damn. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's program. Anything that you wanted to touch on or add that I might have missed or didn't remember to bring up tonight?
This is completely selfish, but I just got the okay to talk about it publicly.
Okay.
In not this weekend, but next weekend, the weekend of the 13th through the 15th, there is a new convention coming to Atlanta, the Atlanta Comic Con. And I was asked by Rebecca Johnson of Supergirl Radio if I wanted to maybe be part of a panel in the convention.
Cool.
And she pitched it. It got accepted. So on Sunday of the convention, which is the 15th at 12:30, we're doing a panel looking at Krypton as it's portrayed on Supergirl and the TV series Krypton and kind of how it's shown in pop culture in general. So that's actually going to be kind of exciting because it'll be my first panel outside of Dragon Con. But a little self-serving, but that I figured since you asked, I'd throw it out there. I'll mention it again next week.
Nice.
Since it'll be the Tuesday before. But yeah, I'm very excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. They were very much telling us not to promote it until they told us that we were allowed to, because conventions tend to have. Like we say in Dragon Con, the panel is not guaranteed until it ends. And even then, it might not be. But Mike Zumo in the Flash chat asks if this is a new con. It is. It's actually kind of interesting that they are having a convention in July since it's so close to Dragon Con. But we'll see how it plays out. There's comic book people, and it's kind of more of a pop culture con. But there seems to be a lot of comic book stuff there as well.
Cool. And Tina's asking, what is Dragon Con about? Well, Dragon Con is just the name of another convention that's like any other convention, I guess.
Yeah, it's a 4-day science fiction fantasy. If you are into something, it is there. It is insanely huge. It gets bigger every year. They call Comic-Con in San Diego Geek Prom, because you go there to be seen. This is Geek Mardi Gras. This is where the fans kind of go to, because it's a party con, to be sure, but there's a lot of fun stuff there.
Cool. Well, that is it for tonight's show. Before we do sign off, I'd like to thank everyone for watching tonight's episode of WGBS TV Live, and want to thank everyone in the comments, in the Facebook comments, for participating in tonight's program. And a big thank you to you, my co-host, Michael Bailey. Thanks, Mike.
Pleasure as always, Steve.
And a huge thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Tina Murray, Douglas Meacham and Henry Bernstein. And if you want to sponsor the Superman homepage, then please head to patreon.com/Superman homepage, where you too can be a sponsor for as little as $3. The complete 1 hour video of tonight's show will remain available on the Superman homepage website and our Facebook page if you'd like to watch it back or perhaps miss part of the show. But Michael and I will be back next week, Tuesday, July 10th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time for another edition of WGBS TV Live. We look forward to talking with you then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Eunice on behalf of myself and Michael Bailey. Thanks for watching WGBS TV Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com.